special edition, playoff edition, NBA playoff preview with your boy Ravi and your boy B. We're going to be breaking down, giving our picks for the first round of the NBA playoffs. It's finally here. Went through 82 games. We went through all the months where we talked about from October, November, December, January, February, March, even a little April. We are finally here. The flowers are blooming, the birds are chirping, and the associations begin the playoffs, boy, and everything's right. So, Ravi, man, you excited for these playoffs?
Hey, man, I can't wait for the playoffs, man. This is the time this is money time right here.
No doubt, man.
This is money time. A lot of guys can talk the talk. Yeah, right. I mean, a lot of teams can pad their records in the regular season, but in a 7-game series where people can adjust to you, game to game, that's what it comes down to.
Isaiah Thomas said in this case, the regular season where you make your you make your fame. Playoffs where you make your name.
Where you make your name, exactly. That's exactly it.
And there's a lot of dudes out there we ain't sure about just yet. And these playoffs are gonna focus a lot on that. First thing, let's get things sorted out here. Ravi's right now in the midst of some transportation.
We're on a little road trip right now, but we can't stop business, Brian. We have to do what's best for business. So whether we're at home or on the road, we giving the people what they want right now.
It's like Shoppers, man. It's open 24/7.
All the time.
Why you like you're in a 90s video in this case here, chilling in the car? I feel like you're in like a Biggie Smalls video or something like that, man.
Hey, man, I had to turn the music down. We had to call a cut for a little bit just to get the show done.
I feel I had those videos in the 90s. Dawes had them. You sit in the car, it's all the city life showing. That's what you look like. It's like,
you know how we do it, B.
I know. I ruled the world and something like that. It's part 2. So, all right. So here we go. Eastern Conference, what we're starting off with. We're going to make it real simple for everybody. We're going to give our picks. We're going to go down the list, starting for the top seed and moving right down to the 4 or 5 games. So let's start off here. Atlanta, ETL versus the Brooklyn Nets, unfortunately. As you saw our last episode. Yeah, they made it. They're like roaches, man. We can't get rid of them. Anyways, what do you think?
I'm gonna tell you right now. It's Atlanta, 4-0 sweep. That's my pick. Atlanta beat them handily in the regular season. I think by an average of about 17 points.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So Atlanta in 4.
Yeah, I think this. I might give Brooklyn 1 game just out of like some thing that they might have someone like Joe Johnson going off in the game or Brooke Lopez waking up, but I don't see this going more past 5 games.
Hey man, you're giving them 1 game. It's not even Christmas and you're doing charity work, Brian.
I'm sorry, man. I know. I'm being so kind and benevolent, but I say they're a professional team. I mean, nowadays it's very hard with all the technology and research and scouting the sweep teams. You rarely see sweeps like how you used to. Back in the day when the 90s, the Bulls, you were pretty much gonna wipe out the first round. Sweep city. These days, even the worst team, it's hard to sweep a team nowadays. So.
Well, hey, I mean, if some of these Atlanta players, I mean, if they can stay at these New York nightclubs,
NYC could be in the middle of it at some point.
I'm worried about when they go to Brooklyn. What's going to happen?
Boy,
they better have a curfew on these guys.
It's Brooklyn in the house without a doubt. Now, so you got 4, I got 5. We both agree Atlanta's going through, I think, pretty easily. They had a lot of rest on that one. As you said before, they just put a licky on Brooklyn the other day. That was the deal with their draft pick, too. They were trying to end them for that draft pick.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's ties with that draft pick that they gave to Atlanta. That was a cold business.
Little front office politics going on there.
What? Atlanta played everybody that game. Anyways, move on to game number 2. Okay, number 2 seed, Cleveland Cavaliers will be entertaining who? What? The Boston Celtics. Bill Simmons' team slips in the last second. Who would thunk it?
Let's make it real easy. Cleveland in 3.
We just forfeit 1 game? Someone just puts his hands up and just taps.
Remember back in the day when The Rock used to come in the ring? You used to have like mid-carders in the ring. And he would just walk in. He would just go on. Just go on. You had 3 games. Just bow out gracefully.
Right.
I mean, in all seriousness, great run by Boston to get in. I think obviously, I think like their coaching staff has done a great job of getting those guys competing every night. And they made a good run down the stretch to get in the playoffs, especially the 7th seed. But I mean, hey man, we know who they're running into right now.
Right, so. Exactly. Yeah, down with the king. And you know it is. I mean, this one. Funny enough, here I am again. I'm being charitable again. I think they squeeze one game out. I think they get. I think it's 5. Cleveland's gonna take a day off. This Cleveland team's not killer instinct yet. There's gonna be a game here where Cleveland's gonna do some nonsense and Boston's gonna get on fire. Being young and dumb and don't know no better, they're gonna win one game from that. I give them 5, man.
All right.
I mean, maybe not. I mean, I know Miami dealt with Charlotte. That was a well-tuned Miami team a few years back.
Yeah.
I think the last time I remember a legitimate sweep that was just where one team was just overmatching the other, and Charlotte just didn't have enough firepower to stick with it. Boston has enough firepower; they can score.
Yeah.
So I give them 5 games on that one too, man. So here we go. So 2 sweeps for Ravi so far. Man, that's the reason why the Eastern Conference is getting so much NBA TV time in this first round. I quickly check. I always like to check the NBA TV schedule. It always shows me what the league thinks of like priority wise. Not one Western Conference games on NBA TV.
Hey man, I won't call. I mean, I'm not gonna name names, but some of these teams really need to be on Telemundo.
Whoa! I'm not sure who the shot's at, Telemundo or the teams.
I'm not gonna name names. It's too early, but hey.
Oh wow! Funny enough, this series is the only Eastern Conference series that is not NBA TV. In other words, the King does not do NBA TV.
Yeah, you can't put. I mean, the league knows where the bread is buttered.
No doubt.
They're not gonna put LeBron on these mid card stations.
No doubt. So yeah. So speaking about mid card stations and stuff like that.
Now hold on. Now NBA TV. I mean, if you guys happen to see this and you want to put us on NBA TV, hey.
Hey, we always got love for NBA TV, man. We ain't nothing wrong with NBA TV as far as I'm concerned. It's all good. You already got a few guys from Toronto, man. Just had a couple more. It don't hurt.
It's all good.
We're easy. All right, man. So series number 3.
Keep getting them checks.
Okay, so series number 3, Midwest battle against the this is what is going to be just a knockdown drag out for the standpoint of just the rivalry of the two cities. They're just down the street from each other. Chicago versus Milwaukee. When I saw the schedule, I thought about who's the NBA TV series. This was in high. This between this and the Atlanta series. Atlanta's the NBA TV poster child. They own NBA TV, but I thought maybe Chicago, Milwaukee might slip in there and get some of that action, which they will.
Yeah,
but, they spread out pretty much on the other 3 series. So I like in this one here. I like Chi-Town in 6.
I'm gonna give Chicago in 5.
Really, huh?
I'll give Chicago in 5 in this one.
Yeah, I don't know if Chicago has Chicago's one of those teams. They're kind of like a boxer that doesn't win pretty. They're not a knockout punch team, a boxer. Like Mayweather. He gonna beat you up and drub you up, but it's gonna take about 10 rounds for him to finally take you out. He ain't gonna be like this case here, like Tyson, knock you out in the second round, and be done with it, right? Chicago's always one of the things, they're gonna make things interesting in some way, some fashion. That's my theory. So I'm sticking with it. And I think True Kid in this case does not have the advantage, but I think Kid is crafty. He might come up with a few tricks. But Chicago's gonna win this series. And now for the final series, rolling into White Vegas, the T-Dot, Jurassic Park, what y'all been waiting for in the association. It's gonna be about 5,000-6,000 strong down there.
Man,
by the Telus Square.
I always love when you hear conversations about attendance in the league and things of that nature.
Right.
I mean, the ACC is always sold out. For the playoffs, obviously, it's sold out. And we have just as much people on the outside as there is on the inside.
True. And then here's the other thing, too. The regular season, we don't have any fraud stats when it comes to, 17,000 in the stadium. It's real people when they say 17,000.
It's 17,000 strong.
Right. Ain't shadow folks that you might have in Brooklyn or nothing like that. Oh, did I say that? Oh, my bad. My bad. Trying to keep it polite here in the first round. My bad.
Hey, Miami, I guess painting those lower bowl seats red wasn't such a great idea, was it?
Ooh, ouch. Yeah, that was a little. That sweet me a little bit. Essentially eliminating Miami from the playoffs. That did sweet me a little bit. I can't lie. I can't lie. I can't lie. I know something about just gave a little twinge from you. But who you like in this series, man? T-Dot against Washington.
You know what? I'm gonna give it to the Toronto in 6 games.
Raptors in 6. I have Raptors in 7. I could see 6 in this case here. I mean, to me, this series is gonna be mostly based on Washington's performance and their front line. They're the barometer. I think Toronto's gonna be Toronto. So it depends. If Washington's front line comes to play, then this could be a 7-game series. If those dudes do an AWOL and you're missing in action, and you're looking around the Capitol building for those dudes, then you're right. This could be a 6 or a 5-game series.
I mean, I don't totally disagree with you. When you say it may go 7 games. I'm worried about Toronto's defense over the course of the series,
right?
And I'm also worried about his ability to make in-game adjustments.
Oh, true. Well, to your point. Well, I put Black as an asterisk because he's the best player in the game. So I don't think he's that much of a coach, at least from an NBA level. But we got LeBron that can make up for a lot of things. So removing him, if you take the remaining coaches, this is really the only matchup where I actually can see Casey out coaching the other coach.
Yeah,
because Whitman, good Lord, you think we got mad? As DC fans.
Well, I think we've seen Whitman in action for the majority of the season. So.
Last year in the playoffs alone, he must have lost at least 2 games to that team against Indiana.
Yep.
And another one cost him a game against Chicago. I'm sitting there scratching my head on my couch like, what are you doing?
Exactly.
Poor clock management, possessions not managed properly. I mean, you can say he's a young point guard, but that's the reason why you're the coach.
Well, hey man, let's put it this way: in this series, it's not but it's by no means is it a cerebral battle going on the sidelines.
Well played, my friend.
I'm in playoff form right now, Brian.
Well played. Well played. You're so right, man. Oh, jeez, yeah. Let me put it this way, boy. If you're starting to become a young coach, man, this ain't the blueprint. Let's put it this way. This ain't the pink print or the green print.
Not at all.
This ain't pretty. But if I'm playing the other side here for DC fans out there, I'm always a true believer that if you have the best player in the series, more likely you have the chance to win the series. And Washington, if we're fair to say, if we look at the rosters, do we not agree that Washington's the best player in the series? I would say so.
I can't argue with that.
So that's the X factor that makes me think 7. Because if he plays to what he can play, which he has not played against the Raptors so far in 2 years, he has not had his best games, let's put it this way. The last one was probably the closest one we played in the ACC, where he looked like typical John Wall. For the most part, I don't know what it is, but something about the Raptors, and I don't know if Lowry gets underneath his skin, I don't know what it is. But it just doesn't seem to fit right or whatever. But if he plays like how he's capable of playing, then Toronto, we have a problem. Because that's going to make things real interesting.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. So
I mean, like I said, there's a quick other point on the Raptors. I know, we were talking offline today, and I said I think the season was disappointing for the Raptors overall. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's any reason why they should not have won 50 games at least at minimum this season. And I think right now going into the postseason, anything less than a second round berth is, I think, it's a failure for this team this year.
I saw what you guys were talking about. Here's my point on this. Okay, the objective of the second round, if they won 60 games, that would still been the objective. They didn't get past the first round. That's really what it comes down to. If they won 40, 50, 60, the objective is to get past the first round. It didn't matter. So from that side, I hear what you're saying. The 50-game part, though, when I started thinking about it, actually, as I'm reading this, I'm counting in my head and I think Raptor fans and Toronto media and Toronto sports fans in general, I think just because of the psyche in the city, and folks that don't live in the city don't understand what we're talking about. Well, in this case here, This city, when it comes to sports psyche, is so fragile. It's got to be one of the most fragile sports psyches in all of North America. I don't say that in this case with hyperbole. I say that because I've seen it straight in my face, seen it happen before my eyes. And I think, and believe me, that's the reason why I always see the media guys always talk about Toronto fans, because they know how it is. It's like a roller coaster. You even heard this week at the CBS Sports Line, they're making a crack about it. But I think when I see it, but I think this year Raptor fans and basketball fans and Toronto fans have been a little tough on this team, because let's put it this way: name me any team that's lost their two top players for over a third of the season, and come up with the record they have, and say, you know what, overall it's a pretty good season. I'm just saying, OKC essentially had two of their three best players out, and they didn't even make the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not arguing with the fact that they've had key injuries to key guys. I mean, going down the stretch, I think there were definitely some winnable games that they let slip away.
True.
And for a team that's trying to make that next step,
right?
I'd like to see them go into the playoffs on a more strong note or a more positive note.
Exactly. And I hear that, but I think this. I hear what you're saying. The guys are saying. I think this is coming down to our point we just made a few moments ago. I think this is less to do with the personnel. I think more to do with the coach. We're gonna find out a lot about this coach this season in this playoff run. We're gonna find out. Sorry, folks.
Yeah.
So we're gonna find out more about this coach in this postseason, because it really comes down to it. Personnel hasn't changed, but obviously changes will happen in the offseason. But how much more can this coach gather this to see if he's grown? Right? Everyone's talking about the players grow. We're going to find out and see if he's grown, because that's what it comes down to. Because let's face it, he made some huge mistakes in the series last year.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So and we're going to find, to your point, can he make these adjustments quicker? How much of a hook does he have on Terrence Ross this season?
Exactly.
If he's got the deer in the headlights looking after game one, I'm sorry, I got no time for that.
No, not this year. I mean,
not this year.
You got a taste of it last year. You got exposed to it, and now, I mean, this season it's a lot of preparation going back in. Trying to get past that point that you were at last year.
Yeah, at this point here, man, you gotta start walking down Terrence Ross, man. We done with that, man. Picking you up, but you gotta walk, man. Anyways, man, that's the Eastern Conference. We're a little over time, but we're gonna get the Western Conference in a few moments. You know where to find Ravi as usual, is down below, and you know where to find me, down below on Twitter. In a few moments, we'll get to the Western Conference preview. Suppose the big boys play there. We'll see.